Simon et al. I am a 51-year-old nurse who can happily retire from the NHS in the next 3 years. Last year, much against my better judgment, my manager suggested that I finish my nursing degree. Dragging my feet, I reluctantly agreed, but alas, this meant that I was not able to go on my usual 1-month backpacking jaunt to India for January. Instead, I had to take my holiday in university term time, and after much perusing through holiday websites, we decided to go to Cuba.
Wow.
How about that?
Great cast.
On the first day, due to the time difference, I was awake at 5 a.m. and decided to go out for a run. As I was minding my own business and looping my way around the all-inclusive resort, I noted people were busying their way to the beach with towels under their arms, with looks of sheer determination etched across their faces. This is at 5 a.m. Something I have to tell you, I know our producer, who is on honeymoon, is doing exactly the same thing.
At 5 in the morning?
4:45 a.m. He sent us a picture.
Going to the beach that early?
I know, how desperate is that? Anyway, the sun hadn't even risen, says Loopy Loo, and people were literally tripping over themselves to beat the other person to the prime spot on the beach. Pathetic. That's me saying it, not Loopy Loo. It was like the March of the Penguins making their way to the beach to claim the sunbed. I was astounded. It was one of the reasons why I didn't like package holidays. I went back to the room and reported this to my partner, Gaz, and we decided that we would rise above it all and would chill out by the pool instead. The days rolled on, and every morning without fail from 5 a.m. onwards, they marched down to the beach to claim their sunbed. On about the 5th day, we went to the beach in the afternoon, and I sat on a towel on the sand and noted that every sun lounger had been claimed by a blue towel. I watched for over an hour, and no one had returned to the sun loungers near us. They're all empty. But the towels were still neatly folded and sand-free. Right, that's it. I've had enough of this sunbed nonsense, this ridiculous malarkey, I shouted. I am going to take one of those sunbeds. And I promptly marched down the beach in a bit of a huff, grabbed one of them, tossed the blue towel aside, and dragged it up the beach. As I did this, a designer gold flip-flop got caught up under the sunbed and dragged up along the beach. In my annoyance, I grabbed the gold flip-flop, which I assumed belonged to the sunbed hogger, and threw it up into the nearest coconut tree, which just so happened to be on the premium side of the beach. The premium side, I should say, was separated from us by a piece of rope, but had the same sand, the same sunbeds, the same towels, but different clientele, who clearly thought they were much better than everyone else. And you can always tell the premium customers. Look at us with our sand.
Oh, no, I think I will be over here. Yes.
Now, it was quite a long way from where I'd stolen the sunbed, so I was sure I would get away with this dastardly deed. That is until I looked around and, to my horror, saw the track marks of the sunbed snaking up the beach and leading, obviously, right to me.
Yeah.
I gulped in panic and tried to cover the tracks by quickly kicking the sand across them. But as luck would have it, and to my sheer delight, a French-speaking Canadian lady dragged her sunbed bang smack into the tracks, which meant she would get the blame for stealing the sunbed and not me. Ha ha! Yippee! I thought, she's going to get thrown off her sun lounger instead of me.
Okay.
Time passed, and still no one had returned for the sunbeds, but the innocent French-speaking Canadian lady got up and started frantically searching for something in the sand. Lou, I think you threw the wrong person's flip-flop into the tree, says Gaz, my other half. As I looked around, she had one designer gold flip-flop on, and the other was, of course, dangling nonchalantly in the coconut tree, well out of reach. Well, I was racked with guilt. Not only had I quite happily let her sit there and potentially take the blame for the stolen sunbed, but I also tossed her flip-flop into the coconut tree as well. It's okay, says Gaz to the Canadian lady, suddenly becoming a bit of a Londoner. Your flip-flop is in that coconut tree over there, look! It's up there, he says, pointing high into the sky, whilst looking from flip-flop to me and back again. I'm trying hard not to laugh, so I blurted out, there was a strong gust of wind earlier, and I happened to see your flip-flop fly into the air, and it landed in the coconut tree because of this wind, which came from I don't know where, but it was the wind. Thankfully for me, due to the language barrier, she didn't have a clue what I was talking about, and so my fib went undiscovered. Eventually, her partner beckoned me and 2 beach attendants over to the tree. Shake after the count of 3, one of the beach attendants bellowed, also in a London voice. We braced ourselves and shook the tree with all our might. Hurrah! I shouted in a trad English style as the flip-flop dropped from the tree straight into the arms of its owner. What we didn't take into account was what would come with it. So not only did the flip-flop fall, but some of the other contents and residents of the tree. And that is why 5 coconuts, 2 whole branches, quite a few bugs, a lot of dust, a dozen lizards, and a tarantula spider.
Oh, what?
Brown, about the size of your hand,
Oh, no.
fell from the tree. Well, you should have heard the screams. Everyone scattered in different directions, along with the premium section customers who, when I last looked, were leaping from their sunbeds with looks of complete and utter disgust on their faces that I had entered into their section and ruined their day. We didn't pay all this money to have this kind of thing. The tarantula, identified by the flip-flop lady, climbed straight back up the tree, in case you're wondering. So, obviously, I'm not asking for forgiveness from the sunbed hoggers, as they got what they deserved, with dust and lizards and spiders and stuff. Not from the stuck-up premium class, because they didn't see the funny side of it, nor from the Canadian flip-flop lady, because she got her flip-flop back. I would like to apologise to Gaz, my partner, who had to spend 2 weeks listening to me moaning about the sunbed hoggers and the eventual debacle that unfolded before his very eyes. He is, by the way, now in India for a month without me, says Loopy Loo. Well, clearly they like to travel to Gaz and Loopy Loo, but if you shake a tree, I mean, I've never shaken a coconut tree in Cuba, but I guess if you think about it, you never know quite what's going to come out. But you get coconuts, you get branches.
A rolling stone sometimes.
And you get...
Do you remember which one it was? He was all right, but he fell out of a coconut tree.
Okay, good. I'm going to look that up in a moment.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I can't remember. Was it? Which one it was?
one of them.
Yeah, anyway, not Mick Jagger.
And tarantula spiders.
Anyway,
what are you saying there?
I thought it was quite funny, actually. Loopy Loo. It's difficult because I think that's ridiculous to get up at that time of the morning to get a sunbed. That is stupid. The system is wrong. Do people really do that? Do they really get up
apparently
that
our producer's
early?
doing it even now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to get a
I mean,
sunbed.
you know.
Just the March of the Penguins. Everyone set the alarm, get out there.
Obviously, there are not enough sunbeds. That's the problem there. And I don't know how much you're paying for your holiday, but they should sort the sunbed
So it's the
situation
Cubans'
out.
fault.
I think they're not. I mean, look, you're
Wretched
going out for a
Cubans.
holiday. You shouldn't have to get up at silly o'clock, should you, to go and get yourself a sunbed? So there's a problem with the system, which I understand, but there's ways of bringing down the system in Cuba that are much safer, maybe. That's what I was going to say.
Well, like military revolt.
No, I was just saying.
Bay of Pigs.
You could have got. You could have gone and talked to somebody. But the thing is, Loopy Loo, you're a nurse. You're a nurse.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgive you everything.
Okay.
Yes.
Because you're a
Well done.
nurse.
Who'd have thought Bay of Pigs
Yes.
would turn up
Bay
in a
of Pigs
confession?
in the confession.
All right, very
Long
good.
overdue. I'm reminded of the fine words of Agadoo of Push Pineapple, Shake the Tree,
Black
and,
lace.
and a bit of black lace. Yes. So I probably am going to forgive. I mean, I think I'd have probably said a bird took it up and put it. I don't think I'd have blamed a gust of wind or a monkey. I'm pretty sure they have monkeys in Cuba. That took the thing and put it in the top of the tree. And yes, we need to sort out this system. I mean, what could be wrong with saying no towels count until the sun is up? You don't get to reserve anything until the sun's up.
What if the sun
I've just
comes up at
solved
5
the problem. I solved the problem in 30 seconds. Why do you have to get 4 in the morning to reserve you? Ridiculous. So
That's communism for you.
We're back on that. Well done. Yes, forgive.